Good afternoon. Today I want to share 4 ideas or concepts that I took from this course and how I think it helped me shape my idea of real estate development moving forward. I'll explain what each concept means to me and how my understanding changed, how it shows up in my real projects, and how I plan to use it moving forward. So, the first concept that made a big impact on me was the Minto Memo communication structure. The core idea is simple. You start with a main point first. Instead of building up to it, you open up with a conclusion and then support it with a clear, organized reasoning. So, before this class, I used to explain things in chronological order, or chronologically, I would say. I'd give all the details before getting to the actual message. But most decision makers, they don't want that, or they don't think like that. They want the point right away, right? So they shouldn't have to search for it. In real projects, this changes everything. So, for example, instead of starting a development memo with pages of analysis, now I open with something like, we should move forward with phase one because demand supports 200 units. Then I would bring in the data. So professionally, this helps me communicate more clearly with investors, lenders, and city staff. It keeps conversations focused and helps people understand the logic behind a recommendation. So then we're moving on to theme two, the 8-stage development process. So the second concept is the 8-stage real estate development module. So this helps me see development as a sequence of connected decisions, and what I mean by that is it's where each stage affects the next stage. It's not just a checklist; it's a system per se. So one of the biggest shifts for me was the understanding how the transition is from stage one to stage two, when an idea becomes something worth testing. So those early assumptions set tone for the entire project. And I learned how much those assumptions affect stage five, honestly. So when construction actually starts, if the early work isn't backed by real estate data, that's when costs rise, schedules slip, and designs have to be adjusted, right? So we see this in Phoenix. A developer gets super excited about a site based on its location alone, but after they run real feasibility tests like soil, traffic, rent comps, the idea sometimes doesn't really hold up, right? And those early mistakes, they tend to show up in the development or during construction. So going forward, I plan to use this model as a roadmap because it helps me slow down. So communicate where project stands and understands what decisions need to happen next. Theme three is the scheduling and the project controls. So this third concept really is scheduling and project controls. And I used to think a schedule was just that, what it is. It's a timeline. But now I see that it's a risk really, like it's a management tool. So using things like the critical path method, flow resource leveling, and productivity tracking, it helps identify what truly drives a project's timeline really. So before this course, I didn't appreciate how important it is for the owner to or the developer to understand the schedule, not just rely on the general contractor. Now I understand the logic behind it, I should say. So which tasks can slip, which tasks can't, and where delays become kind of dangerous per se. So, for example, in a multifamily project, the critical path might run through foundation work, framing, and then you have inspections as well. If the concrete crews are stretched too thin across other sites, even a small delay like that can push the entire project out. So, tools like resource leveling, that's what helps prevent that by making sure the plan is realistic, truly. So, um, professionally, this helps me ask better questions, so anticipate the problems earlier too, and communicate timelines more accurately. It protects the schedule, the budget, and investor relationships, which, in my opinion, is the most important thing. And then we have theme four, the sustainability and end roads. So the fourth concept is sustainability, and specifically what I learned using En-ROADS. So sustainability has always been important to me because En-ROADS made it practical. So it shows that real impact comes from combining many actions: energy efficiency, clean systems, thoughtful land use, and better building design, really. So in real estate, that means the choices we make about materials and systems like the HVAC system, insulation, and long-term energy use, that's what truly really matters. Using En-ROADS in a real project could help explain why efficient systems or solar panels aren't just environmentally responsible. They improve long-term performance and they reduce the operating costs overall. Going forward, I do plan to integrate sustainability early in the development process, not as an add-on, but as a core part of the strategy. So, um, in conclusion, these four themes: the clear communication, a structured development model, the strong project controls, and sustainability, it gives me a stronger foundation or for approaching real estate development. Each one offers practical tools. I can use that right away, and together they shape how I plan to work. More organized and more data driven, and even more intentional at every stage of the project. So with that being said, thank you and have a good day.